All right, guys, that was an awful fun trip and very satisfying. And just can't tell you how proud I am of our players, our coaches. Excited for the Gator fans. Uh, Getting that home win on the road is something that's pretty special, and really the way we did it, not always pretty, but the guys played their tails off, and I'm just really excited about that. I thought we had a lot of guys step up and make a lot of plays. I thought that our O-line was challenged, and they answered a little bit. Obviously they got to go against a team that lead the country in sacks with Florida State, so there's no real time to enjoy it. But what I tried to do is let them know, reflect back on how and why, enjoy it, and let's get back work today and move on. And there were a lot of really good performances in that game by some guys, and yet it was truly a team effort. I got to tell you, just kind of side note, and this first time in my life, when we were running the ball pretty good there and denting the defense a little bit, group of wideouts came up and said, "Coach, we can handle those secondary guys. Keep pounding it." First time I've ever heard that from a wide receiver, and yet I think that speaks for what we're trying to accomplish as an organization about giving of yourself for the benefit of others. And, they truly did that. So it was good. It was fun to see those guys enjoying themselves in that end zone with our fans at the end of that game. And, it was a lot of fun. So, moving on, obviously this is a special week. Not only a huge rivalry game against a team that our players know well. Their players know our guys. We both recruited a bunch of the same guys, so there isn't a lot of secrets there. And coming during a week of Thanksgiving, that the meaning of what that is and what that's all about. Chance to get with family, and I tell you this, this team is turning into a real family, and that's great to see. Chance to give thanks for so many things that we've been blessed with, and it's special. Obviously, we'll do a little bit different practice times. Shouldn't affect you guys much, but I'm looking forward to the week. And looking forward to getting back to work. This is obviously an opponent that, look, guys, they got good players, and Jimbo can really coach, and he's done an outstanding job there. He's built a program that believes in what they do. They play really good defense. They lead the country in sacks. They got really good cover guys. I think one of the things that really kind of stands out there is their sudden change defense. When there has been a turnover, they've held the opponent to not getting points a lot of times, and that's really a sign of a good defense. And offensively, the quarterback's playing lights out. He's throwing it to the right colored jerseys. They've done a really good job with him, and they've got the weapons around him. And guys, this Dalvin Cook guy is the most explosive player in all of college football. You can just look at his plays, both running and catching. He's this guy's a special player that's going to play a long time at the next level, and rightfully so. And they've got some guys around him as well, but just as talking as a guy who enjoys watching good things on film, this guy's awful fun to watch, and he plays the game the way it's supposed to play. We got our work cut out for us. We're going to be short some more guys this week. We lost probably Nick Washington will be out for this game, as well as all the guys that were last week. With that, next man up, and we got to get ready to put a plan together to try to, bottle these guys up a little bit and create a little bit of explosiveness, explosive plays on offense. So it's going to be a fun week. That's what rivalries are all about, and should be good. Questions?
Ronnie.
You guys have gone against really good backs the last 2 years. Is he a little bit different, kind of the way he does things?
No, he does. Here's what I like is a guy can run behind his pads the way he's built, and yet he can give you that side-to-side jump cut and get to top speed so quickly. You can't blink. You got to keep your head up, and you got to wrap this guy up. And the big thing is we got to get people around the ball because he's going to make some guys miss, and that's what makes him so special.
And Appleby seems to be having a blast. Do you feel good for him?
Yeah, I'm excited for him. It's guys that the work that he's put in. He's and you guys have been around him. You talk about a great guy and really something that's really important to him, and that's what we're doing here. And for him to be able to do what he's doing. Guys around him believe in him, and that has to do more so because they see the work that he puts in studying the plan and affecting the people around him in a positive way.
Ryan.
You've talked all season about how special these rivalry games are. How does this one compare to Georgia or Tennessee?
That's what's great. They're rivalries. I think with this one, coming when it does a little bit, that last game, a lot of lead up to it maybe. And I think just, anytime you play somebody living in your own state, that's fun.
And then you were in on Francois in recruiting. What connection did you make with him, and did you think you had a chance with him last cycle? Or?
Never thought we had a chance. We were scrambling when we first got here, so we took a swing at everybody. But he was committed up there, and Jimbo's done a great job with him, and he's a heck of a player, and we knew that. And, guy's proven it.
Thomas.
You mentioned that they're in state. In terms of the direction of the program and kind of halting kind of the momentum that they have in terms of this rivalry, how important is this week?
Well, it's always important, but really the most important thing is what we do today to go get prepared for it. I think the preparation we had, our guys are starting to understand it's not about looking down the road. And so here's what I don't think people get. They want to make a big deal about it. Here's the big deal. Based on how you work and how you prepare, is going to help you be successful in whatever you do. Whatever you do. Saturday's going to come. Okay? That's a guarantee here. Okay? But it's what you do right now to get ready for that Saturday and understand why you're doing what you're doing. I think our guys are starting to get that, and that's good to see.
Jim, a couple weeks ago at Arkansas, that was a painful loss in a couple of ways. Obviously, the score. And then,
well, that's an understatement.
I know, right? That's why I get paid to use words.
Yeah. I love it. That's pretty good.
Tell my boss.
Can I steal that one sometime?
Sure.
Yeah, I like that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Lovely banter. So, how on earth did you guys? But seriously though, how did you guys recover from that? Afterwards, Caleb Brantley, I think it was, said that probably dashed the playoff hopes. But here you are. If you guys went out the next two, you're in the discussion.
Well, I haven't really thought about it. You learn from failure. All of us do. The correlations as to different things that happen in your life and what you learn from each experience. We learned that you've got to come to play. We aren't that good to be able to just show up. And I think we've done that the last couple weeks. We've showed up. And you've got to understand from a preparation standpoint, it doesn't matter who you play. Just like it doesn't matter what task you're trying to go accomplish, that preparation piece. And, yeah, that hurt. And, but if you dwell on it, it's going to be there forever instead of what did I learn from it? And I thought our guys learned some things from it. And, it's no different than probably when you were growing up and, your mom had a kettle on the stove and you wondered what that red burner was, and you probably went over there and touched it and realized, you know what, that didn't feel very good. So let's not do that again. And those are the lessons we learn in whatever we do.
Pat?
Hey, Jim, could you have foreseen this happening with Jordan, or what you were playing the four running backs early? Did you kind of want that to happen organically, where a guy would take a
Yeah,
over
we
the
were
job?
kind of looking for somebody to jump out and take the lead, and as good as he played, he still missed that third down protection, which we'd worked all week.
Blitz.
Right? Yeah, it was, he was standing right there in front of him. So being a complete player is what we're looking for, and but I will tell you one thing: this guy's learned how to run behind his pads a little bit, and he's doing a great job of keeping his feet moving through contact, where last year I think you probably even saw there were times where he'd get up in there and his feet would die. But with that being said, through his actions, our guys believe that he can go get it. And, let's not discount LaMichael either. We got to make sure he gets some real touches. That run he made might have been as impressive a run as we've had all year. And, but it's good to see, Jordan with that success. And I think when you really look at it, we've started to play aggressively and try to finish at times up front, and that obviously helps any ball carrier.
Any good recruiting stories on him?
On Jordan?
Yeah.
Another one of those that, when we first got here, we were reaching, and I'm sure glad he chose us. I know that. I don't really get into those, Pat.
Jordan over here to the right.
Hey, Coach. With Nick out, who are you looking to possibly step up in that extra safety spot?
Well, Chauncey's going to have to do that, and between him and Duke, we're going to have to do some stuff back there at safety. Obviously, D-Mac has to come up big again like he did in this game when they're in their different packages. But, he'll step up and make plays. I think where it hurts us as well, guys, is I talked about this with Marcus, but Nick did such a great job on special teams. We're going to need somebody to step up in now those roles where Chauncey can't do what he's doing all the time, which, this guy's been really effective in what we're doing on special teams. So, but it gives an opportunity for someone else to play. Some meaningful plays, and it'll be fun to see.
And over the last 2 weeks, since TJ McCoy stepped in at that center role, how have you seen the offensive line sort of basically find some stability and find some ways to keep the protection up?
I got to tell you, TJ has been a breath of fresh air, and he's actually rejuvenated some of those guys' energy as far as how they're going about it. And, it's good to see. And, we expect him to keep that up and keep playing the way he's playing. I thought he was more decisive in his mic points and where he was going this last game, and he's really got to be on this week because of what they do defensively and the kind of creatures that we're trying to block. So it's going to be a big task.
Edgar?
The right side of the offensive line seemed to really be moving people, and you ran behind that very effectively. What was?
Yeah, I
was
think
that kinda-
and that was on our, our gap stuff or, pull stuff that I thought, Fred and Wani did a pretty good job of running the hip of their defensive linemen and allowing us to get a puller around, and Tez does a good job of that. And really on the back block piece, TJ's been really, really effective on that. So, those two guys, are big bodies. They learn on contact, when they continue to run their feet and finish a play, they got an opportunity to move some people, and I thought they did a really good job of that, and I'm glad you saw that.
And the other thing is you brought up kind of the lack of respect for the team a bit again. You did it a few weeks ago, I believe, too. Where are you kind of gleaning that people aren't giving you? I know you stay off message boards, so
Yeah.
I'm joking. But
Well, no,
where
you
you-
aren't, because I don't.
well, I know because of what
don't.
you said last week. But where are you just getting the sense that you guys aren't quite getting your due?
I think we're pretty good.
But the fact that you brought it up, you obviously were thinking.
I think we're pretty good.
Graham?
Just one penalty and no turnovers against LSU. What does
How
it
about that?
right? What does it say
I
about
mean,
the team's level of discipline?
Did you guys celebrate as hard as I did about that?
I don't think so.
That might have been, I mean, wow. You know what's amazing, too, is when you do that, you gave yourself a chance to win. How about that? Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Zach?
Jim, the way your defensive line was able to limit Geis and Fournette and the goal line stands that they had, just how huge was that to have, especially with this matchup coming up against Cook?
Here's what I think those guys did, is they did their job. It's as mundane and routine as that sounds. If you do that, it allows the people around you to do their job. And they're starting to get the fact that it isn't all about these stats. Stats come when you win the game. Do your job. And that's what they were doing for the most part. I thought we lost contain a couple times. I made the comment on that after the game, and we do that with Francois. He goes and scores. So, we've got to make sure we understand what that means. You can't run by the quarterback. You got to go speed to power at some point, and you got to constrict it for that guy so he can't get out and make plays. But the gap control piece, our guys were challenged a little bit going into it, and I thought our linebackers fit pretty well for the most part. I thought Marcel Harris did a great job getting down into the box when he needed to. But it was good to see the guys up front starting to really understand, and they put some of these together. When you don't jump out of gaps, when you maintain what you need to do when you play against the double team or the down block, whatever that might be, when they do that, they're pretty effective. And that makes for a good team defense.
That was actually going to be my follow-up as you look at, because it seems like defensive line's done a good job when they shoot their gaps and then the gap control. How do you gauge when you want to do that defensively, especially against the running attacks that you go against?
Well, we do a lot of line movement, but a lot of it is based off the read of what the block is that's coming to you. And what they've done is a good job of, I think, reading what type of block is happening and playing against it when they have to. And that comes through film study. And, Coach Rump's doing an outstanding job of that. But, the whole defensive staff, how it goes with Coach Shannon's linebackers fitting and knowing and having trust that those guys are going to do their job, right? That's what it really becomes, a big deal about the team defense.
Ryan in the back?
Coach, where does Saturday's win rank amongst the most memorable wins that you've taken a part of in your career?
I mean, it was obviously a big one for a lot of reasons, not personally, but for our guys. I get the satisfaction. It has nothing to do from a personal standpoint, because the only reason I'm here is because of these players. To see them accomplish something when their backs were kind of against the wall a little bit, and that's the satisfaction. And we had some big wins, along the way. I don't know where it would rank as far as that goes. That's for other people to determine. I just know how proud I am of them and what, the resolve that they played with. And, learning that sometimes to do something you don't want to really do, all right, to reap the benefits of doing it, to see that happen in the last game, that was pretty cool. And, we talk all the time about to get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Think about that one.
Yeah, that's words to live by.
Mhm.
You were visibly emotional after the game. Can you just put into words?
Actually, I had a cold. So, it's been about the last 3 weeks. It's been horrible. Yeah.
And hopefully you're taking care of yourself now.
Well, I try. I get a whole lot of sleep. Right. That probably helps. Yeah.
Could you just put into words what exactly you were feeling when the clock struck 0?
Yeah, I needed a tissue because my nose was running. And like I said, the joy I see, the joy I get is to see the happiness in the people around me. And I saw a bunch of people really happy. And, when you go through life, that's what it's all about. Someday I'll get a chance to sit by the fire and think about maybe what went on. But for me, it's all about the joy and the look on the faces and the sense of accomplishment by a group of guys. That's what makes life so fun, right there.
What's the main area you've seen Chauncey grow in? And he seems to have a big personality. What does he bring to that secondary? Just with
No,
his
his
attitude?
energy, number one, his understanding of, I think he's had a great mentor. I think Marcus May has had a great effect on this guy about, it isn't just about being a good player. It's about doing the little things to help you become a great player. And I see him doing that. I see him spending extra time studying. I see him taking a responsibility for, knowing how to do, like just even the special team stuff that people take for granted that are huge. I mean, it's a huge part of the game, and he's owned it. And that's been fun to see. And to see his growth from, this guy that just likes to talk a bunch to actually being able to back it up a little bit, that's all right.
Robbie?
The injured guys, any chance of any of them coming back this week?
No.
Thomas and then Edgar and then Patrick.
You said you have to do something you've never done to get through. It almost sounds like you're talking about a wall. You've spoken a lot about consistency and kind of eliminating the up and down by focusing on the now. How important is that, to come follow up a big win with a focused effort like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's call it the way it is. I'm not sure we've had a decent win like this was and actually followed it up. With whether you go win the game or not, it's about the effort and the emotion and the way you attack the week of preparation. But that's part of the growth of an organization and a program, is understanding that. So here's another opportunity for us to learn, and we've got a lot of good young players that are playing their tail off. Now, can they keep putting it back to back to back to back to back? That's the sign of consistency, is what helps you be successful in whatever you're doing.
Edgar and then Patrick.
Eddie Pinero was named SEC Special Teams Player of the Week just now.
Really?
Yeah, I know he had kind
Good
of
for
a
him.
tough week last week. What's it say just about his ability to focus and just, keep
I don't know,
moving
that-
forward?
There must not have been a bunch of performances in special teams, I guess, in the SEC. I mean, the guy went out and did his job. and that's what he's supposed to do. And you know what was kind of cool was even that last field goal. Somebody had brought up that I guess they like focused in on him or something on the big screen. I don't know, and he just kind of smiled. Here's the great thing about Eddie is that nothing bothers him. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, but talented guy. I thought he kicked the ball on kickoffs great. I mean, the one we kind of hit into the wind there that we, still had great hang time. And the one that they returned. So, well, that's good for Eddie. I'm excited for him. Does he get a plaque or something for that? No, he just gets an attaboy. I'll give him an attaboy.
Coach, the goal line stand before the Tyree touchdown, how important was that in shifting the momentum? And have you ever been a part of, defensive line effort like this?
It's great to see. Here's what's great to see is it doesn't it's they're starting it. I go back. Look, whatever happened, it's over. Go win the next play, and that's what their mindset was. I think that the tackle for loss by Caleb, on their running back there, as he sliced through there and got a tackle for loss. I thought that was huge. But guys, let's not downplay Beauchamp's play on hustling over and not allowing their quarterback to get in the end zone. I mean, ultimately, there were a lot of plays you could point to, but that might have been the biggest play of the game. And he hit him pretty good, and he didn't say anything. That's what I love about these guys. I mean, you see CeCe make a play, what's he do? He just goes, walks back to the huddle, celebrates with his teammates. It isn't all about me, It's great to see.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.